In this video, I'm going to show you how I made and how you can make, at home, your own custom headlights for your car. My first problem of many was that I didn't want to compromise my car's downtime, which means that I had to get my car a second set of headlights. Luckily, I was able to find some by visiting some local scrapyards, but unfortunately, the only ones that I was able to find were extremely hazed over. Nonetheless, I got to work at removing the casings from the actual shells, which consisted of simply just putting the headlights in the oven and then separating the lens from the casing. I then took each headlight casing outside and started wet sanding with a 400 grit, 600 grit, and then a 2000 grit, making sure to keep the surface well hydrated and applying light pressure. You'll notice that as you're wet sanding, you'll see the water become a milky color, and this is the destroyed plastic that's been deteriorated from the sun that you're just scraping off. At this point, I was able to see that on the right side, the one that I sanded had clearly a much less visible amount of yellow on the surface than the unsanded version on the left. This was telling me that I was ready to start spray painting. Here's a front look at a side-by-side comparison. After the sanding was finished, I let them both sun dry. And then this is what they looked like after the first coat of gloss clear. Which sent me right back to wet sanding for an hour because there were cracks all over the surface. But that's okay, because I told myself before starting this project that if I was going to do it, I was going to do it right. So now I had to head to Amazon to find some daytime running LED strips that were flexible. I found these ones, and I liked the way that they were translucent in a case so that they would diffuse the light very well. I then started playing with the strip to find out which designs I liked, which I didn't like, and which would actually accommodate the actual style of my headlights. I had to 3D print a little end piece on the top left corner, but I kind of found a design that would roughly suit my needs. I then did a preliminary test to see if the strips would actually work, and it turns out that I had one of them completely backwards. So I had to restart. After some finicking, I think I finally got it the way I wanted it. I then took the heat gun back to the adhesive, screwed the casing back onto the housing, and pretty much got an assembled headlight again. I then set out to remove the daytime running headlights of my previous headlights that were tinted, along with the high beams that were both LEDs. I really liked those, had a bit of a hard time taking them out, but I wanted to keep those and throw those into my new headlights as a contingency in case these did not light up the road enough, which, spoiler alert, they completely did not light up the road at all. I then grabbed a soldering iron and wired up my headlights to my fog lights so that I had the option to drive with not a single light on, except for my new custom strips. But just know that yes, I did have to take off my bumper, and yes, my car looked like it belonged in a junkyard. But I think all of the suffering and all of the effort that I put into this project was well worth it, because I'm very happy with how they turned out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. If you enjoyed this one, you might enjoy some other ones. Thanks for watching.